Hi guys, welcome to another video of mine. Now this video is all about IELTS speaking, and if you are struggling to get a ban in the IELTS speaking section, it's better that you watch this video. Now today's video is a little bit different than the normal ones because today it's not me who's going to give you all the tips and advice, but it's another student called Umer who got a brilliant score of 8.5 in the speaking section. It was his second attempt, but he made a brilliant score in this one. So we're going to interview him and we're going to ask him all the tips and advice. So welcome, Umer, to this interview.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much for being so kind and helping other people to learn all the tips and advice that you've got. So I'm just going to ask, what type of IELTS did you sit for? Was it academic or was it general one?
No, I sat for the general one. General. Yes.
Okay. And where did you take the test?
I took it in Saudi Arabia, in Riyadh, to be more specific, which is the capital.
Okay, that's great. And was it your first attempt?
No, actually, it was my second attempt for the IELTS test. Yes.
Okay, and what score did you get the first time right?
First time I got a 7.5 in speaking.
Okay, and this time it was an 8.5. Brilliant score.
Yeah, it was a huge score.
Do you mind sharing your purpose of taking IELTS exam?
Actually, I was applying for the immigration, so I have not decided yet which country would I go to. But of course, for every country, I think they require a minimum IELTS score, and that too for the general module. So I said, just why don't I just take the test first, and then I would see my options. So yes.
Okay, that's great. Can you tell us how often do you speak in English, like generally every day?
I work in a multinational firm, so yeah, that requires me to speak English. Usually, you should say 8 hours a day as well. Because I'm currently in Saudi Arabia, so people over here, the national language is Arabic.
Yeah.
So it's like usually during work, I would say I speak English, and with my friends on weekends, not that often. So you could say, yeah, but it's on a daily routine, I do speak English. So yes, I would say 8 hours a day.
Okay, that's great. Okay, the next question I've got for you is regarding your preparation. So just talk me through your normal preparation day. Let's say you were sitting for your IELTS exam, and how did you prepare for the speaking part of the IELTS exam?
For the speaking part, I think it's really what you call crucial to time yourself, especially for the task. I think the second session, I think it's called the task 2. I don't know what exactly is it called. Yeah, section 2. Yes. So for that, yes, for that I would recommend everyone to time themselves because they take your watches away, so you can't even. There's no clock, so it's just the examiner and you. So you have to really time yourself and see you don't run out of ideas. And huge recommendation to everyone would be that from what I learned from my experience is that you don't have to be really specific. Even if you have those bullet points which are in front of you, the cue card, which they call it, so they tell you to speak from there. But of course, if you ran out of the ideas which were presented to you on the cue card, you can surely make up by speaking anything at all, anything of interest. If you stick to the topic, that's really good. If you can keep up with that. In other case, then never be silent, I would say. And that doesn't mean just blabber out whatever you mean or whatever you say, but do make it sound more coherent. Like be like fluential in your speaking and sound it natural. It's not you're not like making it up. So that would be my huge recommendation to everyone.
That's very good advice, actually, Umer, because I want to say to everybody who's watching this video is that you don't have to stick to the bullet points, and you can speak anything as long as you stay on the topic. So don't go off topic, but it's really important that you do speak and you don't finish before 2 minutes are up. It's really important for you to get a good mark in that one. Okay. Can you tell us something about how did your preparation differ this time from the previous time when you attempted IELTS and you got a 7.5? Any specific things that you think that you did differently?
I would say I did. First of all, I just made a bit of preparation for the cue card section, which I think because in my previous attempt, I think the cue card section I ran out of ideas.
Yes.
And of course, and as well as for you could say for section 1, because they usually ask. I didn't know the pattern, so I just first time I just went up there. I said, okay, it's going to be a speaking test, but for IELTS, it's a bit tricky. It's not like it is normal speaking, but you have to be, you have to plan and outrun them. It's like, for example, in section 1 they ask you general questions. So if you take too long, or you talk a lot in the section 1 itself, so that would like make hamper your scoring. Why would that be? Like, why would it stop it? Because you're expected to give 3 to 4 sentence long answer, or maximum I would say 3. Don't even go for the
Yeah.
4 sentence.
Yeah.
So that would be my number one advice for section 1. And as for section 3, it would be specific to whatever he or she is asking.
Yeah.
So, and don't be too long. People tend to think when they want to speak, especially for section 3, that when they give really long answers, like they're going to be speaking, it's like a grade up or a good mark for them. I would say no, make it concise, because your whole module, whole attempt or whole objective of the test is to just make sure you understand and speak clearly.
Yeah.
So
That's
don't
very
speak
true.
too long, and all in short, don't speak too long. Just speak naturally. That's what the examiner wants, basically.
Yeah, and that's a very good advice again by Umair, because guys, just remember that for task 2 they can give you anything, literally anything from anywhere. So it's very important that you do prepare all the topics that are coming very often, because I always say in my videos, and I'm repeating it again, is that the topics that do come, they're repeated in the for at least 3 months. So there is a high probability that whatever topic you got, like maybe if you did the test last month or something, it can come up again. So do prepare your topics wisely. Okay, and the next question that I've got for you is, how did you manage to improve your vocabulary and, let's say, your general English level?
General English level, I would say you need to take something of interest, and
Yeah.
that in English. Again, that can be a book, a movie, a song, even a podcast, anything which you are generally interested to do. Because why I'm saying interest, if you don't have interest in such a subject, or in some particular, like for example, I didn't like chemistry back in the day,
Yeah.
so in that case I would tend to run away from it. So
Yeah.
that's what I'm saying. If you need something in English to improve yourself, you stick to a topic or anything, any kind of movie, any kind of music which you love, but has to be in English and clear and coherent English. I don't mean by that you watch we could say do not hear slang music,
Yeah, not
because
slangs.
again,
Yes,
exactly, because IELTS is all about proper vocabulary.
absolutely.
So stick to any one of these 3. You will see yourself improving within days. To be honest, that's what worked for me. So I used to like I'm a really busy person, so I could not like have time to read books.
Yeah.
So I opted for music because
Yeah.
I drive a lot. Opted for music and opted for podcast. Tune into radio stations like the BBC or CNN even.
Yeah.
Uh, that will help a lot, I would say.
Yeah, that's a very good advice again from Amer. Also, I just want to ask you, like, did you prepare any vocabulary book for your speaking section, or you didn't, or you just managed on whatever you already knew?
Vocabulary, I would recommend everyone to prepare. It's like what is it? Prepare some some words, because usually some words people say these days are really common.
Yeah.
For example, I would just give an example of like good or bad.
Yeah.
This is a really low level English right now, so
Absolutely.
you cannot say that to an examiner. You can do that in certain situations, but I would say you could, for example, synonym of good would not be perfect, or excellent would be like satisfying, I would say.
Yeah.
Depending on the situation, it can differ.
Yeah.
So at least try to use a really good level of vocabulary in these common words.
Yes,
So
that's very true.
do not yes. So that would really help boost up your score, so that you're not speaking the common language that everyone would speak.
Yeah,
So
guys, sorry to cut you, Mer.
no problem.
As I've always said in one of my videos, that one of the criteria that is used by the IELTS examiner is that vocabulary. And vocabulary, what they want to see is that you're using less common words. Now, less common words don't mean that you have to memorize the whole dictionary for that purpose. But what you need to do is, like a perfect example given by Omer, that whatever common words that we do use, but you should use synonyms instead of using the same common words. So you should use less common words and you should use synonyms. That's very good advice from Omer. Okay, Umar, also, what tips would you give to anybody who's struggling to get a mark in the speaking section and they have to keep on taking the IELTS test because they are not getting their mark in the speaking test?
To be honest, most tips I got is from the video of your channel, Live platform, because I saw a speaking video on it, which told everyone, sorry, to compare certain scenarios. If you run out of ideas, so for example, the examiner, I'll just give you my example. This examiner asked me, what kind of music do you enjoy on a sad day?
Yeah.
Or then you can compare that, or how does your mood change on a sad day. So you can, if you're like your time ran out, like time did not ran out, and you were describing a situation on that specific day, you can compare it to a sunny day, and you can
Yeah.
start a new story.
Yeah.
So again, the whole point is to compare. That's what I got from one of the videos on IELTS platform. So I would say just everyone to watch that video. It helped for me, so hopefully I think it will help for everyone.
Okay. Also, Mira, I just want to ask you, I gave you some feedback and some tips just before your exam. So which one tip would you call the golden tip that you think that is really important for everybody to know so that they can improve their mark? I know that I gave you quite a few tips, but if you had to pick one or two tips that I gave you in the feedback session, what would you say that everybody should know that would really help them to improve their mark in the speaking section?
Of course, I'll just give really three prime tips, I would say. Number one, get someone to assess you, okay, so that you may know at what level you are.
Yeah.
So for me, a band score 7.5 they just gave me, which I think was like kind of, I didn't know I was like kind of okay. I said okay because for me I need a band 7,
Yeah.
but 7.5 was kind of okay. But as soon as I gave an exam in front of someone who can assess me, so they told me my mistakes. So that and that brings to my second point. The second tip, as from you, they told me that you guys told me that to compare the certain scenarios if you run off ideas.
Yeah.
And the third tip would be that to do not panic. Like think of the examiner as he's your. I know it's extremely not
Yes.
possible for that to happen, or it's really extremely hard to do. Imagine that. But think of him or her as your friend, or the person for a long time. Be extremely relaxed. That will really help you a lot. If you think like an examiner or it's an exam going on and they're going to assess your whole life's English in just 15 minutes, that's of course you will be nervous and you will tend to make more mistakes.
Yeah. Guys, this
So
is the perfect
these
tip.
are my three prime tips I would tell you. Yes.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Umair, for all your tips. And guys, this was one of the most important tips that I always say to my students or whoever comes to me for tips and stuff is that be very relaxed because when you get nervous, it's not going to help anyway. And it just lowers your performance. You're not going to perform as well as if you're not nervous. So it's best that you stay relaxed and you focus on the exam and talk to your examiner just as if he's your friend or something. So I know it's quite difficult to do that, as Umair already said, but you have to do it, and it's one of the skills that you have to develop to not to be nervous when you're doing your exam. So thank you so much, Umair, for your time. Thank you for all your tips.
No,
I'm sure that it
no,
will help a lot of people. So
no,
I'll
it was great having you guys and great sharing all my tips. I wish everyone a really good success in the upcoming exams.
thank you so much, Umair.
Welcome.